All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. If you've joined us already, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to let Kathleen kick things off, but if you haven't yet voted, go ahead and take our poll so we know who you are and what you're looking to get out of today's webinar. We really try to focus these and tailor them as we go to make sure that we're addressing exactly what you came here to see. So fill that out while Kathleen's introducing.
Awesome. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our last webinar in Q3. That's part of our Take Action series. We're going to be talking all about reporting. We know that this is a hot topic. Registration numbers almost tripled just in the past few days. And from what I can see in the poll, looks like we have a lot of Bravo customers on the line, some with Standard, some with Reporting Pro. And really looks like people are saying what metrics and what reports should I be running. That is the majority of what we're going to be talking about. And I did just want to let you know that the recommendations that we're showing are not just things we've come up with. These are actually things that some of our customers have recommended to us, and in previous webinars have talked to other pawnbrokers. And these are people, so they're trusted resources in terms of the recommendations that we'll be making. So as many of you know, I'm Kathleen Owen, the head of marketing here at Bravo. I'll be acting as host and MC. Of course, we have Tally Mack, our CEO, who's going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting and the how-tos in actually running the reports. And we also have Dawn Chavez. Many of you sure know her. Dawn is our subject matter expert when it comes to reporting. And as we're going through the presentation today, we brought Dawn on because we imagine there's going to be a lot of specific questions. If there are, questions about how to run reports that we're not talking about, how to get to certain numbers, please put those in the chat, and Dawn's going to go ahead and be monitoring those. And if we need to, of course, we'll do any sort of appropriate follow-up after the call today. So I think, Tally, we can go ahead and jump forward. We have a lot of things we're going to cover. I did want to actually ask if you guys could put in the chat as well. We may go 10 to 15 minutes over. We can really consolidate our if we need to. Can you put a Y or an N in the chat if you're okay if we go a little bit over, as long as the content is relevant? All right, so really quickly, I'm going to just talk a little bit about, why measuring, reporting, and managing is important. I'm sure most of you know that. And then, as I mentioned, Tally's going to jump into the what metrics and reports should you be tracking, and along the way, we're actually going to show you how to set those reports up. All right, looks like a few Y's in there, so that's great. Okay, we are recording today's webinar. We're going to be sending you this recording, so I know there's going to be a lot of numbers and how-tos. Just know that you're going to get the recording with great recap of the conversation. We do love participation. Today in particular, we actually have quite a few polls along the way, so please pay attention, answer those polls. It helps us know if we're on or off track and what we're talking about, and also how your customer success managers, if you're a Bravo customer, could actually help you with some of the things you may be trying to implement in Q4. And as always, we're here to help. So reach out to Tally, reach out to Bravo if there's anything in particular that you need help with that you see today. All right, so Tally, you can go ahead and forward. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the why, right? The assumption here is, especially since many of you are Bravo customers, you understand the value of reporting in general. But something I did want to touch on is you're certainly not alone if you're concerned about the reporting you're running, or perhaps reporting, or kind of the discipline of having consistent measurement management. This is from Forbes. The vast majority of leaders in their businesses are also concerned about this. And they're also concerned not just about the reporting, but the actual quality of the data that's used to drive useful and relevant reporting. And so just a reminder that, the Bravo platform is set up in a way that it allows you, Tally, you can go ahead and skip ahead, that, data is easily accessible in Bravo. So again, if you're not quite sure on where to find certain data or certain reports, we have Dawn on the line. We can follow up with you afterwards, but it's flexible. You can centralize it or decentralize it, meaning you can look at numbers for just your store, down to the employee level or the customer level. but then broadly, right, for your entire company, which is really important for if you have multi-stores. You have full visibility into all your store data, all your channel data, which we'll talk about, and then of course, company performance and down to the employee performance and profitability, which we'll also be talking about today. So the architecture in Bravo allows that. If you're not sure how to do all of that, we're here to answer those questions for you today. Tally, I think you can probably just, just go ahead and skip ahead, just for the sake of time.
Okay, awesome. So if you are a Bravo customer, or even if you aren't, I just want to break down the type of reporting that we have. We did a major revamp to all of our reporting in 2018, and that included not only an upgrade to our standardized reports, but also our data warehouse, and that is Bravo Reporting Pro. So we re-platformed Bravo Reporting Pro. We updated all of the reports. They look a lot different now than they have in the past. The portal looks different, so things are easier to find than they ever were before. And we also have, part of that upgrade included some new tools. As part of that, we are a Microsoft shop, so all of that is served up using Microsoft reporting tools. And then on the ad hoc side, we are constantly adding new criteria for you so that you can pull and slice and dice that data however you like. We get recommendations from customers often on new types of reports that they want to pull through ad hoc with new criteria. So if you're not familiar with ad hoc, in my opinion, it's the most underutilized tool, even though it does get a lot of utilization, but there's just so much good information that you can find in ad hoc. So start with, your CSM. Every Bravo customer has a dedicated Bravo customer success manager. These are individuals who are experts in helping you find and grow your business, find data and help you grow your business. So if you're looking for something specifically, those people can help you do that. When we launched Bravo Reporting Pro and we relaunched it, we launched it with 42 reports. Again, that was in 2018, so we've added quite a few reports since then. We also have 42 standardized reports. These are available for all customers, whether you have Bravo or Bravo Reporting Pro or not. And then ad hoc, there's really infinite possibilities of reports that you can run in ad hoc. So I'm gonna deep dive into all three of these things throughout today. And so that way, if you have one but not the other, or if you're interested in Bravo and Bravo Reporting Pro, you've got a good foundation on where to find stuff. That said, a lot of the metrics that we're going to be talking about, we're not going to be explaining exactly what the metrics mean. There are many industry consultants and people that can help you actually, understand the metrics that you're looking at and basically how to take action based on the metrics, right? So what we do as a platform is we provide you the deepest data possible. We are the only platform that has a data warehouse. So we help provide you the data, and then there's lots of resources to then help you interpret and take action on that. Some of those resources, if you're in here and you're interested, Jerry Whitehead from Pawn Shop Consulting Group, Vernon Stating does it, Yigal Adato. Each of these individuals specializes, I think, in a different area of data. So there's actually awesome takeaways from each consultant that can greatly improve your business. So there's a few names. And so if you could just take the poll, wondering if you're tracking these already, and then also if you're not tracking, if there's anything new you want to start tracking. Okay, this is awesome, super helpful. I'm gonna keep going through just for the sake of time. So thank you if you took the poll. All right, so just the standardized reports in Bravo, these are available from the Bravo dashboard. So if you click on reports, you're gonna get these standardized loan reports. And then digging into Bravo Reporting Pro. So this is what the new user interface of Bravo Reporting Pro looks like. You're gonna have your top 10 reports that you see often. With Bravo Reporting Pro, you can have any of these reports emailed to you on whatever cadence you'd like. So you just tell us what cadence you want these to be sent to you, so you don't even actually have to proactively come to get them. Also, if you're using the Shopkeeper app, you can have your app link directly to your Bravo Reporting Pro reports so that you can have them directly through the app. So both of those are really awesome tools that I think not many people know about. Okay, so starting here, we're just gonna go over to loan reports. And you'll be able to see, I have quite a few loan reports that are available. I'm gonna dive into 3 of these today, just to show you. So we're gonna start in the loan category analysis report. There's a question up here. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go into the loan category analysis, the loan deep dive, and the loan key performance. So one thing to note on Bravo Reporting Pro, like Kathleen mentioned, is you can make this store specific, region specific, or company specific. And in this particular report, you can actually deep dive down all the way into style. And so if you're a Bravo customer, you know that our data is organized in a way that no other platform data is organized. Nothing is freeform. And that allows us to really give accurate reporting. And it allows you to deep dive into really specific categories and know that there's really strong data integrity. Another thing with all of these reports, and also with Bravo standard reports and Bravo ad hoc reports, is that you can export these into a bunch of different file formats. Excel and CSV are probably going to be the main ones that you're going to use for this type of data, so that you can continue to slice and dice however you'd like. And then, you know, if you're a Bravo Reporting Pro customer, and this is a lot of information, as you scroll over each of the different sort of headers, it's going to explain exactly what you're looking at. And so for this loan deep dive, and specifically, you'll see that it's test data, so there's a lot of zeros in here, but you can see not only your current loan balance, but any payments that have been made and any new loans. Okay, so for this specific loan deep dive report, it's the same thing up top. So you're going to select which store you want to use and the report date. So one thing about our reporting is you can go report it for any day that you'd like, and the data is going to be as if it was that day. So the data is not going to shift on you as things start to happen throughout the month. So select the date that you want to run it for. And in this example, we're just going to drop down electronics and cell phones, and it's actually going to pull the actual transaction. So if you're looking for a deep dive of the actual items, you can do that. And this is the report where you can actually pull in the transaction numbers. And then this is actually going to show how aged your loans are and what's happening with your different ages of loans. So how old are your oldest loans that are still being paid on? I see that a lot in the forums. People want to know, and this would be a report where you can see how old your loans are and in what brackets are still getting paid on, and what type of payments are being made, as well as total pawn service charges. Okay, the last one on loans is this is a loan key performance analysis. Same thing on the top, so you're going to be able to select the company and the store. And this is just going to show a breakdown by percentage of the different categories. So you are going to be able to see the percentages of jewelry, guns, and other. Other is general merchandise. And then you'll be able to see basically what comprises of your loan balance, what comprises of the new number of loans that you're writing every day and the different activity that's associated with that. Obviously, you know, I think a lot of the time and attention should be spent specifically right now looking at loan reports, because everybody's loan balance has taken a hit dramatically. And so the question is, how can you grow your loan balance again? And you can't manage what you don't measure. And the best place to start is digging into your reports and finding out what historically your loan balance has looked like, and how, in what pockets and areas you can start to expand it again. So if you're a Bravo customer and you don't have Bravo Reporting Pro, there's still, you know, Ad Hoc is the place to take action. It's always going to be like the go-to place where you can look up numbers and then take action upon them. So in this example, I'm just going to run through how you can contact customers with loans or buys activity over a certain period of time to try to get those customers to come back in, to thank them to coming to your store, to tell them about a new loan promotion that you might be running, to tell them about a refer a friend program you might be running, whatever creative ideas you have for getting customers back into your store and grow your loan base. So these are the different criteria types that I suggest starting with if you want to contact customers with loans and buys. So we've got buys activities and loans activity, and then we also have total loans and total buys. Total loans and total buys is going to be the dollar amount, and activities is going to be how many, like the physical activity. So a redemption counts as an activity, a new loan counts as an activity, okay? And so we're going to build out this report. All of your Bravo ad hoc reports can be saved so that you don't have to rerun and refine the criteria every time, okay? So you're going to come up to the top and you're going to name it, you're going to save it, and then you can also share it with your entire organization, or you can just keep it for yourself, okay? So this is where you're going to go ahead and do that. As soon as you select the different ranges that you're looking for, you're just gonna click OK, and then all of your action happens from there. So this is gonna pull that report, and obviously the fastest way to reach out to somebody is either through the app or via text message. We also have the option to email them directly through here as well. If you wanted to pull in their mailing address, you can actually do that as well. So if you want to take your top customers and you want to send them a physical mailer or some sort of like promotion or loyalty promotion, you can do that all through Adhoc. So that was a bombardment of information at you. Are there any questions specifically as it relates to loan metrics? Dawn's going to be in the chat. If you have something specific that you're looking for or criteria that you need help finding, post it in the chat. And otherwise, I am going to continue on. All right, so we've got another poll, so I can stop and breathe for a second. So tell me about what metrics online you're currently tracking and what new metrics you're interested in starting to track so I can show you where to find those. If you're not an e-commerce customer and you're not selling anything online, you can just put NA. And then in the chat, if there's anything that we're not tracking that you think we should be tracking or you think we should be talking about, go ahead and post it in there. I'll give you guys a second to respond to the poll. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's dive into some of the e-com reports. So the first thing is this is available for all Bravo customers. This is when you are in the dashboard and you see e-commerce performance. So this is that report. It scrolls down. You can see even more data below. Obviously, this is our test environment, so there's not a ton of data in here. But if you're not tracking margin, if you're not tracking the average days to sell, so inventory turnover and where your inventory is turning over the fastest, this also is going to show your shipping fees. So if you want to be able to, you know, track your buy shipping fees compared to your actuals, you can do that through here. We also have a success fees page, so you can see that full transparency on that. And then you can obviously also see your feedback rating. So one of the things that's really interesting to me about e-commerce presence and store presence is that you can really sort of get the idea of how somebody's physical store looks by how their e-commerce store looks. Same goes for all brick and mortar, not just pawn shops, but the best operators that I know actually have the cleanest looking e-commerce websites as well. And when you walk into their store, you can tell that their store and their e-commerce presence matches. I have a mentor of mine that works at Walmart. He is the VP of online sales there. And part of what Walmart does is they actually require sales. They basically track e-commerce sales to determine what kind of shelf, what shelf type people get at Walmart. Because they believe that if you can't sell your stuff online, then you don't deserve shelf space at Walmart. That is where the world is flipping to. The best e-commerce powerhouses in the country that also have brick and mortar, they're putting their emphasis into making sure that their online store looks really good. And so if you have an online store, put a lot of emphasis into making sure that your brand is well represented in your e-com store as well as your physical store. It is that important. That is where the world is going. If you go ahead and click on month to date or year to date from this report, you're going to be able to dive deeper into your retail sales and your COGS and your sales gross profit. So again, all of this data is available for you. You can track your omni-channel, right? So omni-channel means all of the different places that you're selling things out of your store. So if you want to put Craigslist, if you want to put Facebook, if Gunbroker, guns.com, Reverb, Etsy, Mercari, all of the options, right? These are all available to you. If you don't know how to do that, or if you need more added, just reach out to your CSM or to support. They'll be able to help you do that. Okay, so within, now we're in Bravo Reporting Pro. So if you're a Bravo Reporting Pro customer, you can go into sales and returns. So one of the things that I think is interesting about talking to pawnbrokers about starting to sell online is this like hatred towards returns. And returns suck. Like you don't want returns. Nobody wants returns in their store. That's become very commonplace when you buy online, that you have a return policy that allows people to return things back to you. Now, Bravo does the whole RMA, which stands for return management process, through Bravo so that it's easy to bring items back in. But one of the things that you want to look at is you want to analyze your returns. And what a really high return rate means is that you're not describing the items well online, and you might not be using the estimator properly because the estimator actually drives the return rate lower than 3%, whereas industry average, I think, is like between 8 and 9% for return rate. And so using Bravo's tools like the estimator and taking pictures, and not just the good pictures, but the pictures of the scratches or if something's broken or if it's incomplete, really spelling that out and making sure that you have the item really well described. People know when they're buying on Baya or on eBay that they're buying something used. Okay, they're not upset that it came used. They're upset because it's used and it's not as described. So make sure that you're describing those items really well. Another thing is, I think there's this gut reaction every time you have a return, it becomes like the rule. But really, returns are the exception to the rule, similarly to taking in stolen merchandise, right? There's lots of things and policies that you can put into place to reduce the risk. And same goes with e-commerce, right? So use this report to help manage and train your people on how to sell online better and smarter with a lower risk of return. Hopefully that makes sense. If that makes sense, can you guys put a Y in the chat just so I know that that's perhaps resonating with you guys? Okay, awesome. Okay, so now let's talk Adhoc. Actually, Kathleen, I'm gonna have you go through this slide and then we'll do Adhoc after.
Right, so when we think about e-com, sometimes you know, there's objections we face. Tally mentioned some of them. We do want to just make sure that we are communicating clearly the value of selling on Baya, not just selling on e-com. And so that 55.54 there is the average cost to acquire a customer on e-commerce, right? That normally would be a cost that would be passed on to you. If merchandise is on Baya, that cost is assumed by Bravo, and here's why. When you have merchandise on Baya.com, we're actually running Google Shopping ads. So we're paying for the ads, and we actually have a dedicated resource now on the marketing team, a digital strategist who's extremely bright, who's making sure we're optimizing those ads so that that inventory gets maximum amount of impressions, right? That it's in front of the right people, that we're not wasting resources on ads that aren't getting in front of the right people. So that's a cost and a value that we want customers to see and to realize, or we assume the cost, we want you to realize the value. We also do Facebook shopping ads, right? Again, we're doing all that work in the strategy in the background on the marketing team. As I mentioned, we have dedicated resource marketing manager. We have a social agency we work with. We have a digital strategist. And at the end of Q2, we actually switched from MailChimp to an entirely new, much more robust direct-to-consumer email platform. And our dev team in-house has built a ton of integrations so that we are actually emailing those customers. We're not spamming them, but we are emailing them with promos that are going on, with discounts that are going on. Some of those highly engaged customers that we've seen, we saw upwards of 50% open rates in our first email that we sent out in August. This is promoting your inventory in your shop, and we're doing all of that. And come Q4, we're actually going to be ramping our efforts to optimize this. So, we don't always talk about that, but I think it's important to know that other than you having to do all that marketing, we're actually doing that. And there's a mutual, it's mutually beneficial, obviously, for our customers to get that exposure at no cost. And then, of course, for Bravo to be doing that as well. Tally, was there anything else you wanted me to touch on?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
In addition to that, so some of the questions that were like Kathleen mentioned, the objections that we get have to do with the success fee, and then the cost to acquire is built into that. Another question that we get, that I pose to customers, and why buy it, and why, not eBay, why buy it and eBay. When you sell something on eBay or Etsy or Reverb or any of these other e-commerce websites, you do not own that customer. Okay, you do not have that customer's data. You do not have their email address. Sometimes it's through eBay. It's just through eBay. So you don't have that to be able to build a list and be able to remarket to those customers. Okay, so when you sell something on Baya, you actually own that customer with Bravo. So we own them, like Kathleen just mentioned, we market directly to them, but you also own them as well. And not only do you own them, but we give you the platform to be able to market directly to them. So I'm going to show you how to pull up a report of your customers that are shopping and buying things through Baya, because online customers are loyal customers and they will shop your store over and over and over. They need to be reminded that you exist, just like you do with your in-store customers. So let me skip forward. So all you're going to do is you're going to come in omnichannel, you're going to select Baya. And just for this example, I'm also going to select first time in, so I can create, let's say that they're, the first time they shopped on Baya was this year. Some of the other metrics that I'm pulling in is maybe how many things they've bought on Baya or how much money they've spent on Baya. Okay, so you can run that. And then within here, you have their email addresses, and you can send emails directly out of Bravo to them. You can also, it looks like neither of these people want text messages and neither of them have downloaded MobilePon. What you can also do is you can print this list and you can actually export this into whatever email provider you like. So I know a lot of our customers use MailChimp for building their loans, for building their customer lists. If you are in Yigal's mastermind, I know he spends a lot of time talking about collecting this information so that you can actually use it. So Bravo collects the information so that you can actually use it, and you can spend effort remarketing to your online customers specifically and providing them, with just regular communication, especially the holidays are around the corner. And so it's time to start thinking about how you are going to strategize your holiday selling. And you can have two strategies. You can have one for in-store customers and also one for online customers, okay? This is something that we're doing already as well and starting to plan out for Q4. So I just wanted to mention that it's time for you to start planning that as well if you want to. All right, so, and now we're gonna dig into retail metrics. Again, I know that I'm going super quick. We've got the chat and Dawn's in there moderating that. So if you have any questions specific to what I'm talking about, you can go in there and post. All right, so quick poll. Let's talk about retail metrics. Which of these are you doing consistently? And if you're not doing these consistently, is there anything that you want to start doing after this that I can show you how to do, or that we can show you how to do? And then also if there's any metrics that we missed. All right, so if you're somebody that posted that we are missing a retail metric, if you can post that in the chat, that would be awesome. And so it looks like lots of people want to start tracking all of these things if their inventory balance is increasing, if they're using bulk markdowns or running ad hoc. So I'm going to run through that as quickly as I can so that you know where to find it once we get off of this call. So the first thing is, let's start with Bravo Reporting Pro. We have lots of different reports in here that you can pull specifically for both Omni and for in-store sales. So this one's going to tell you, actually, it's both going to tell you Omni and in-store, and it's going to break down your Omni by all of the different channels you have set up in Bravo. So in this example, you can see all of the online sales. And then if you scroll over, you can see the in-store sales and how that compares. And then in here, you can also see it broken down both by in-store sales and then all of your Omni. So why I think this is important is because sometimes you'll find a online selling channel that you think is working really well, but by the time you do your cost activity of how much time and effort it's taking you to post and list and manage and do all of the returns manually and all of these things associated, and then you can actually see how much money you're making off of it. Sometimes it's actually beneficial to cut back on certain channels and try adding new channels, right? So there's not a shortage of online channels to try, and some are definitely more beneficial than others. Okay, so this one is going to be your sales deep dive. A few things that I think are interesting on here is it's important to look at your discounts. And then we also, show you your profit margin. This is per item. So this is going to show you, again, every single transaction. You're going to be able to look up all of these transactions in Bravo if you want. So if you want to dig into Bravo, you can do that as well. But we're also going to show you the age. So you can see basically how you're selling your inventory and if you're doing a good job of selling aged inventory. Then the last thing, if you're in Yigal's mastermind, he talks a lot about avatars. In Bravo, we actually have two different types of avatars. So we have your loan avatar and then we have your retail avatar. Those can be different. They probably are different. And so you can actually break down your different avatars by the type of activity that they're doing. One thing, I don't go into the loan demographics analysis in this particular webinar, but I do think it's important to notice your company totals by age. And so if you can start to see that your loan customers are aging out, as are your sales, you should be thinking about and strategizing how you're going to drive a millennial and Gen Z traffic into your store. If that is an initiative that you're interested in, we spend a lot of time talking about how to attract these people into your store, these demographics. And it's an awesome 2021 goal to set now. How are you going to drive younger traffic into your store, both for retail and for new loans? Okay, so that's where you're going to find that information.
Hey, Tally.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I did want to ask, I know Don's doing an awesome job responding, but do we have anything on the roadmap that actually shows a dashboard of aged inventory versus having to run that through reports?
Yeah, so let me show you. Actually, we do have a dashboard of it in Bravo. Let me see if this is what you're talking about. So in Bravo, if you go to reports, there's actually this aged inventory summary where we're going to break down for you your aged inventory without having to go into Bravo Reporting Pro. And this is going to show by the different buckets of age, right? And so you're going to be able to see by jewelry, manufactured goods. And then also if you have multiple stores, you can see how many items are in transit. You can see how many items are missing, how many are in refined, and then also anything that's either non-controllable or controllable shrink. So you're going to be able to see that. Does that answer, is that a report that you're looking for? If you can answer that, and then.
Callie, I think he's looking for something that gives more like the inventory numbers. So I was chatting red flags on the dashboard screen, like a task button on the dashboard for aged inventory.
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good suggestion. I don't think we don't have anything on the roadmap for that right now, but you can build these different types of aged inventory reports with all of the numbers within Adhoc. So if you go to inventory and then you go into Adhoc reporting, you can actually start to break these down by, age groups, and then you can save these reports so you can rerun them whenever you want. And so if you're looking to do a type of regular occurrence of marking down your inventory, you can do that here, right? So here I'm gonna just select a category. I think you can either use the drop downs or you can start to type it in. So I wanna look at all of my aged electronics between 500 and 1,000 days, right? And so I'm gonna be able to do that. You're gonna wanna select the status as being in inventory, and then I'm gonna mark all of these down 10%, let's just say. And so this is gonna have obviously all of the transaction numbers that are associated, all the inventory numbers. You can bulk select, and then over down below, you can actually just select inventory markdown. We have several ways for you to do an inventory markdown. You can either use percentage markdowns, cost plus percentage, cost plus amount, or a fixed amount. And then you can just select the markdown price. If you like to use stickers, I see a lot of pawn shops using stickers instead of relabeling items. You can actually just turn off relabeling items. So you can do, a pink stickers 10%, a green stickers 15%, or something like that. So that's going to allow you to do the inventory markdown. Also, if you're a Bravo customer, we do have a special label called Price Slasher. And if you have an aged inventory issue, specifically with a type of category, maybe it's like TVs, let's just say, you can actually turn on, it's an automatic scheduled discounter. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna say on January 1st, this is gonna be $500. On February 15th, it's gonna be $300. However you wanna break it down, whatever frequency you want to discount. So maybe it's every 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, and by what percentage you want it to drop. You can use that tool to be able to move inventory without actually having to go in and do any of this sort of bulk markdown stuff. It will just mark it down automatically. And it's a different label that you would put on the merchandise that you want to automatically discount. All right, how we doing? Let's dive into some customer metrics. So what are you currently tracking? And if you're not tracking it now, is there anything that you want to start tracking so that I can make sure to highlight that and show you where to find it? And then while you're doing that, Shane, I'm wondering if you can give me a little bit more, like expand on what the flag would be. So would it be a flag that would show how many pieces of inventory exceed a certain age? So it'd be like anything that's more than 180 days old, you would want to be like, you would want to pop in the task manager. If you can just give me a little bit more information so I can talk to my dev team. All right, so tracking critical customer metrics, using mobile to contact customers, and then sending customer newsletters are all things that people are interested in starting. So let's talk more about how you can execute on that. I think I messed that up. All right, we're gonna go into productivity metrics and then I'll go back to that. Okay. So this is employee related, and what I'm curious about is, you know, whether you track the productivity of your employees. That might seem like a silly question, but some people don't track it at all. And then, you know, whether you're interested in more tracking and perhaps more different type of comp plans, comp structures. This is super helpful. Okay, I like that idea, Shane. Thanks for sharing that. Awesome. Doug, you'll see like there's a two and it says all panelists, or maybe it says just to you. You want to switch it to everybody, I think, above where you type in the message. All right. So let's talk productivity metrics. The first thing that Bravo does, and I'm pretty sure no other platform does this, is we serve up the data for your employees to see how they're doing every single day. All of the Bravo Reporting Pro, so anything with this type of look, these are refreshed nightly, so that the data is new every single morning for your employees. So it's obviously just going to show whoever's logged in. They can see their year-to-date activity or their month-to-date activity or today's activities. And this is just a really good way so that you don't have to tape up in your back room or pin it up performance and where you're trying to get to goals, right? So this puts the power in your employees' hands and also gets them to self-motivate. A lot of stores say that this really improves sort of like friendly competition amongst employees. Some of our customers actually will create a bonus around the global Bravo ranking. So I know of one customer that says if you're in the top 10, you get an extra bonus at the end of the year to actually try to make sure that they have not only the best employees in their store, but the best employees amongst all that use Bravo, which I think is pretty cool. And then, you know, this is going to break down their metrics. And since we're in the year-to-date activity, it's going to show year-to-date activity. This performance report is available for all customers from the dashboard when you click on employee performance. Okay, again, that's just going to be for the employee that's logged in when you're clicking that from the dashboard. Also, if you're either a Bravo customer or not a Bravo customer, I always like to point out the task manager because you can really track productivity and your employees' productivity by looking at the task manager and opening up the task manager to more people. So perhaps you have certain functions really, really locked down to certain people. You can start to try opening up some of these to allow more employees to be able to do the activities to make sure that you're clearing the bubbles for the day. But overall, as a owner operator, especially if you're not in the store every day or if you have multiple stores that you're managing, you can log into the task and just look at the task manager and manage productivity that way because these numbers pop automatically. And so you can really get a good idea of what's going on in your stores that way. We do have employee-specific reports within Bravo Reporting Pro. And so if you click on employee reports, you're going to be able to see the employee commission. And you're going to be able to select the start date and the end date. This is for every variation, or we try to make it for as many variations of specific commission plans because it seems like almost every pawnbroker has a different type of commission plan. So we try to make this flexible so that you can create how you want to commission your employees. The date range has to be within 1 calendar month. So I will update that into this 1 calendar month, and then it'll show the full breakdown for you. Again, you can export this into all of those different file formats, and you can also drop down and see the transactions specifically if you want to learn more about what their total numbers comprise of. The next thing is going to be the employee performance deep dive. So this is going to show all of your employees and their productivity, gross profit, loans, on service charges, buys, layaways, sales, all side by side. Again, can be exported into whatever file format you want to be able to dig more into that. Sales returns is an interesting metric, I think, to keep track of. And you can also check out canceled layaways. So there is that. And then the last thing, if you're using Bravo's review product, we did have quite a lot of people asking to be able to track how their employees were sending it out and whether they were being clicked on. And so we actually created a report specifically for that. And then also within operational reports, if you come into here, you can go to daily activity by hour. And so this really helps for resource planning in your stores, especially as stores start to ramp back up and start to get really busy again. You're going to be able to put in your start date, your end date. And this is actually going to show, is it not showing it? This is going to show how busy your store is based on hour by hour. And so you're going to be able to see both loans and the loan counter and your sales counter, and you're from opening hours to closing hours, and it'll show the total number of transactions within each hour bracket. So you can see when your loan counter is super busy, when your sales counter is super busy, and if you want to allocate your resources differently depending on the busyness of that by day, you can do that using that report. So that's a really helpful report. And if you're not using that, then that is under operational reports again. Okay, and then there are some, action items from Adhoc or from the dashboard reports that you can have your associates follow up on. So the two most obvious are layaways that are overdue and loans that need expiring. So obviously within Adhoc, you can always bulk select whoever's able to receive a text message or whoever has notifications allowed on the mobile app. But basically, I'm just messing around with the columns a little bit to show you that all of this within this view is flexible. And then also, I'm going to show the column chooser, and I'm going to add my associate. So I'm actually going to have the associate that put the item on layaway make the follow-up layaway calls. Maybe if there's a certain dollar amount that's been paid down or whatever criteria you want. And then group by this column is actually going to give you the breakdown of how many each employee has to call. Okay, so that is, I think, an underutilized button in Bravo. You can actually group any column and organize it that way. And then you can always export this list. We have a call list on the right side where it says print call list, or you can also just print this list so it's organized exactly this way. And you can basically put the people to work that have those particular layaways written. Okay, so I just forgot to add the phone number, so you're going to want to add that if you're expecting them to make phone calls. And like I mentioned, print list is here if you want to just click print list. And that's a little bit on that. We also have a call list that's pre-made for you if you want to use that. So you've got two options for the layaway overdue call list. The next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to go home and I'm going to select my loans that are about to expire. So again, same thing. You can always text, email, push notifications to your customers to let them know that their loans are about to expire. But you can also drag in the associate if you want to have your associates make call outs to do that. So you can drag the associate in. And then again, I'm going to pull in the phone number and I'm going to print this list. One piece within print this list that I think is another underutilized thing, and I'm not sure this is part of our update. Actually, I think you could do this before, is up in the top right corner, you have show in a separate window. So you can actually, we call it pop it out. You can actually pop it out of Bravo, and so that you can continue doing things within Bravo, and you can just have that minimized. You can have that whole report minimized. You don't have to keep running that report. you can just minimize it within Bravo. Questions on that? All right, I did have a few video to show you guys with regards to customer metrics in Bravo Reporting Pro. If you want to see that, if you can put a Y in the chat. For whatever reason, it didn't translate into the deck, so I'll have to pull it up somewhere else. Yes, yes, okay, cool. Let me just pull that up really quick. Okay, so here is, again, within Bravo Reporting Pro, you are gonna go ahead and click on operational reports. And one of the most common things we get asked is, how do I know who my top customers are? The reason why this is in Bravo Reporting Pro is the customer ranking includes more things than just loans or just inventory, just sales, just redemption rate. And so when we mix all of these things together, the way that it's architected in Bravo is it has to be within a Bravo Reporting Pro. It's just not a flat report. These numbers aren't generated that way. And so we actually rank your top 1,000 customers. So if you're ever like, who is our #1 customer in our database that comes up as #1 or number 50, this is where you're gonna do that. And per request, we also have all of their email addresses in here, their phone numbers, and their actual addresses. This can all be you know, exported to whatever file format. So if you wanted to send a thank you or a invitation to your holiday party that you're having this year, you can do that just straight from this report to your top 1,000 customers. So that's a really good place to do that from. All right, let's see. All right, so I know that that was a ton of information. I think, you know, at the end of the day, what's important for you to know is that we have dedicated people on our team that are ready to show you and help you dig into reports, right? So we know that with infinite sort of possibilities means a lot of training, and we are absolutely dedicated to helping you make sure that you're trained, that your employees are trained, and that you're pulling these reports in an efficient way that's giving you the data that you can make you know, important insights and also take action, because you can look at all of the data in the world, but if you're not actually doing anything with it, then it's not really that important after all. And so we've got people for that. So reach out to me, reach out to your customer success manager, and let us help you. We really want to help you be able to dive into your data and help you grow your loan balance specifically over the next several months. Yeah.
I was just going to say, because I know we've thrown around the term customer success manager that may be new to some of the people in line, because it's right, like a new department, a new initiative. So just so you guys know, as Tally has mentioned, you each actually, with the expansion of Bravo, we know that delighting the customer is one of our core values. And one way we do that is having dedicated resources now, not just a technical support team, or just your onboarding team, but somebody who's going to help you strategically. So I believe Jim's on the line here. I believe his team has started reaching out to all of the customers. It's not a sales call. So if you are getting emails or phone calls in the next week from somebody saying, hey, I'm Amanda, or I'm Mike, or Jason, and I'm your customer success manager, that is your person who's going to be your point of contact. Pick up the phone, say hello, respond to the email. That is the person who's going to help make sure that you are leveraging every inch of Bravo in a way that's really going to help you get the results that you want in your business. Jim, anything you want to add to that?
Absolutely. Yep. Calls and emails have started. So they are excited to get to know you and help you out and be your partner and advocate.
Awesome. One of, we go to a lot of conventions that aren't necessarily pond conventions, and one way to think about a customer success manager is they're sort of an extension of your, as a pawn operator, they're an extension of your team. So they're your advocate. They happen to be our employee, but you can think of them sort of as working for you to get the most out of Bravo as possible. So that's what that department does. They are literally dedicated to your success. Utilize them as much as you want. That's why they're there. To run through a few of the new things that we have, we did announce a new partnership with Marquee. They have a new Marquee Mentor program. If you're not familiar with Marquee, they are a handbag and luxury brand wholesaler. Their Marquee Mentor program basically helps you make sure that you are evaluating handbags correctly, that you have experts. Literally, you have a Slack channel that you can use all the time, and those mentors will be reaching out to you, letting you know how that sells in the marketplace, and some key metrics associated with particular bags, things to look out for, and make sure that you can protect yourself and try to make sure you're not making super risky loans. The other thing is E4473. Our integration with that is done. We're just about to push the 2020 version. That's coming really soon. And it's been in beta for the last 60 days, and it's been phenomenal. So if you are a gun dealer, reach out to us about E4473, whether you're a customer or not. It is the most exciting product, in my opinion, that we've launched this year. Also, Blue Dog credit card processing, completely integrated into Bravo, seamless end-to-end. You can do it for mobile pawn, for e-com, for point of sale, or for all three. They are wonderful to work with. This was a 12-month development. It was a 10-year decision. We made sure that we found the perfect partner. We got the kinks figured out. That was a 3-month period where we really had to make some adjustments on our end to make sure that that partnership was as good as it could be for our customers. And so that is smooth, and we would love to have you reach out for more information on that. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention, NPA is doing a really, really, really important data research project. It is called I Am Data Driven Pawn. National Pawnbrokers Association is putting it on. Basically, the point of this is so that National Pawn Association can benchmark and help pawn shops benchmark where they are at, where they are performing, if they're underperforming or overperforming compared to the national average. The pawn industry really doesn't have a resource like this. We haven't done this since 2014. And so it does take a little bit of time to do. Bravo has created the step-by-step instructions on how to find the data in the most time-efficient way possible. If you're a Bravo Reporting Pro customer, we also have an additional Reporting Pro for you to do. Kathleen's dropped the link within the chat, so please check that out. Whether you're an NPA member or not, this stuff really matters, and you'll get a copy of the report. So if you are a data person and you are here probably because you are a data person, you probably want to know how you are doing compared to the rest of the industry. You will get that data through engaging and participating in this project. So talked to them yesterday. It's going really well, and that is just a really awesome industry project that the NPA is doing. NPA advocates on behalf of every pawn shop in the United States. If you're not a member, please reach out to them. They are integral to our industry. So
yeah,
with that,
Kelly, a couple things. You will be receiving customers, or even if you're not a customer, we do monthly newsletters. That'll be going out likely tomorrow morning. The link for NPA, you'll see an article in there as well. The link for that survey will be in there, as well as other upcoming webinars too. So look for that in your inbox in the next 24 hours.
Awesome. I know I talked a million miles a minute today. We will send this out to you so that you have the full recording. Hopefully you learned something. It looks like so far we're getting A's and B's, which is great. This is our last series for this quarter. We jam-packed, I think, like 8 or 9 webinars over the last 3 months. And we have all of those available for you. So if you missed any or you want to take a look again, just let us know. They've been in our newsletters, and we also have them posted on our website. And with that, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, it looks like everybody at least picked up a few things from today. Now it's your turn. Go take action on what you learned. Go start tracking. Go start contacting your customers, creating those lists, segmenting, and driving business back into your store.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.